Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at mikekollin.com. So this is going to be a random video of probably some abstract thoughts. Okay, so why do I do what I do? Why did I get so involved in healing work, therapy, psychology, energy healing, etc.? Like, why do I do this? Because I'm an empath. And because of that, I deeply feel the emotions and pain and suffering of the people around me. And because I also know there's a way out. I'm very aware now, because of my own healing journey, you can heal. There is a better destination. It's like the Golden Gate Bridge here. It's like you're crossing over this bridge, and right now you're probably just past the halfway mark. And if you've ever been on the Golden Gate Bridge, you know it just past the halfway mark. Either way you go, it starts to go down. So as you're going towards the halfway mark, it's going slightly up and up and up, and then it goes slightly down and down. Meaning you're getting better and better, and the pace is going to be picking up. So, okay. So, I've gone, oh God, this is kind of hard. So I've gone to a lot of energy healing sessions, and I mean a lot, like a ridiculous amount. And I've been doing it for about 30 years now. So what stimulated this video, if you guys have not found this on YouTube yet, there's something called Sad Multi-Fandom. Sad Multi-Fan and then DOM. And then I'll have like a title after that. So these are videos and music combined to make you cry, to help you to release. See, like the name of the name of the song is Paradise by Onycs. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is you can heal, and there is a better place to be. There's a couple things in that video that stimulated some thoughts and memories from my own healing journey, my own spiritual journey. It's not the easiest journey on the planet. It's probably one of, if not the hardest journeys you'll ever take. It is an emotional, up and down, extremely painful, sad, yet a very, very, very rewarding experience. It's emotionally rewarding. It makes it all worthwhile. It makes everything meaningful. So here's the deal. I had held back for a lot. It's like I was doing it, but then I'd pull back, and I was doing it, I'd pull back. I held back for a really, really long time. Now here's why. So I'm an exceptionally gifted healer. I just am. I've gone through all the trainings. I've gone through all the certifications from psychology, NLP, hypnosis, energy healing, Reiki, Huna, Pranic healing, timeline therapy, etc., etc. I mean, I've learned, studied, and trained, and I've been certified in a lot of different modalities. And I've put in the work, I've put in the time, and have a lot of experience doing it. I'm also a very gifted healer. I was just born this way. So the reason why I held back is this. I've gone to different energy healers over the year, and then I found one that I thought was really, and she's very, very good. And she was kind of coaching me on the side, saying, hey, Michael, like, what are you waiting for? Like, I would work with clients, and God, this is really hard to say. I don't think you understand how painful it can be to go through what we call a clearing. It's, man. Now, it's how do I say it? It's like she would say to me, like, well, Michael, you go through it all the time, like, why are you not working with more people? It's because I was so worried and so concerned about you going through this pain and suffering. See, the way you heal is through the fire. You can't avoid it. If you avoid it, it's still there, and it's going to keep popping up in different areas of your life. But today, now, I see it through a different light. So when you do the energy healing, generally for the first day, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, maybe even 4 or 5 days, it is a wonderful experience. So essentially, literally, this is the best metaphor that I have. It's like, have you ever had a zit that's like under the skin and you can't pop it and the pressure builds and it just hurts? Well, these are what we call charges in energy healing, or parts in psychology. It's like they're stuck. It's stuck, crystallized energy. And it hurts and it limits you. It holds you back from your happiness and your joy until you can clear it. So what I do, okay, you know those zits that are stuck under the skin. Well, over a period of time, they will kind of come through. Or if you poke it with a needle, or if you put Vaseline on it for a couple of days, it'll eventually kind of open up. So the pore is clogged, and that's why the fluid can't flow out like it's naturally supposed to, and to heal naturally and to be healthy. So essentially, what I do, it's exactly like when you open up a chakra. You open it up. And when it clears, and so I come along and I open up and I clear the stuck stuff that's in the pore, so then the other stuff can come pouring out, okay? So when you first get that clearing, it's wide open, like, oh, it's like you can breathe, your whole body relaxes, and it feels great. But then what happens is then the stuff comes out, okay? So the fluid comes out, the yucky stuff comes out, and it's, when you go through that part of the process, it is tough. Now, when I mean tough, I mean we're talking dark night of the soul, we're talking scary, we're talking, if it's shame, it comes out all at once, your whole body feels it, and it's like you're fully engulfed in whatever emotion comes up to heal. And so essentially I said to my energy healer back then, I said, I can't do that to people. Because what I noticed is when I was working with people, like they were going through the same thing that I would go through when I would go through healing. And they would be crying, I can't do this. And it is tough. And, I probably shouldn't say it. But I told her, I go, I can't do this to people. And yet, if you don't, you're stuck with that energy. You're stuck with that pain that's constantly there every day. See, okay, watch this. Here's the really cool part. When you clear it and it's all cleared and that part of the healing is cleared, you come out of it and you're like, oh my God, you start to realize the unconscious limitations. They weren't real. The fear was never real. And the more you do this, the more you kind of go, wow, we live lives in such a false reality. We don't even the pain, the emotional pain and the suffering, and even the physical ailments we get from this stuff, when you don't clear it, it can have physical, not experiences, but physical effects on your body, from boils to upset stomach to even cancer. So I've got a friend on Facebook, and she just announced that her voice disappeared. She can't talk. Well, I've known her since high school, and I can see it in her eyes and in her energy. God bless her, but she feels shame and she hides things and she holds things back. So like that's her thing. She's been tightening her throat, call it throat chakra, and her throat muscles, and now she's at a point where she can't talk. So I thought about saying, hey, let me do some healing work on you, but I think that would really kind of shock her. Everybody that I went to high school with, on my Facebook page, they know what I do. They're very aware. So I figured, if they want to reach out, they can reach out. So here's my point or purpose for sharing all this, is if I don't help them, then they're going to be stuck. They're going to go through the pain, the suffering. They're not going to be able to talk. They're not going to be able to this or that. So it's not like the pain just goes away or they can ignore it. It's like all these different things that you have, and they're coming up left and right. This one comes up, then later on that one comes out, and this one comes up tomorrow, that one comes up tomorrow morning. And so you're kind of dealing with all of this crystallization or patterns, and they're just patterns. They're not real, but they do. But what is real is the pain that comes from these patterns. So I'm finally at a point in my healing where I can look back across the bridge, so to speak, and I realize the pain and the suffering part. When you cry and you cry and you cry, there is a beauty to it. Not because I want to see you in pain. That's not it at all. I don't like that. And that's why I've resisted and held back for so long. It's because I understand what's on the other side of the pain. There's a lot of emotional reward. There's a lot of emotional meaning. Like suddenly life becomes more and more meaningful instead of empty. There are times when you clear that emptiness, when it comes out, all you feel is empty. Like life feels completely meaningless, completely empty. Like there's just no, and you'll feel either dead inside, or you'll feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there's just no reason to be here. And the funny thing about it is when you're clearing that, you feel it to the fullness of what it is. And it's a really weird thing. When you come out of it, you're like, oh, it was just a part. It wasn't real. It wasn't this. It was just a hurt part of me. It was a hurt charge that was inside me. So when you get to the other end of the bridge, it feels great. And you're like, oh, and now it's healed. And you're like, oh, thank God. And you understand the beauty and the joy of it. But when you're inside it, when you're going through the clearing, when you're taking on the fullness of the emotion, it's not easy. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible like climbing a mountain, but I'm saying when you're going through it, because you are going through it, you are moving through it. It's hard. But the reward on the other side is all more than worth it. It is a process. It's not a one-time fix-all kind of thing, especially when we're dealing with the emotions. The more you do, the lighter you... It's like taking one rock off your shoulder. Another one... It's like you're carrying this bag of rocks, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. It doesn't mean you won't have other issues, because here's the thing. When you clear it, like how you feel so light, you're like, okay, I'm there. And then maybe 2 weeks or a month or whatever later, another one comes up. Oh, God, now you got to deal with this. So it is a process, okay? But then when you clear that, you're like, oh, I feel great. So it becomes a part of your life. But the more you do it, the better life gets. And it's not meant for everybody. It really isn't. Like I said in the past video, we all come here for different reasons. Because when I was going through this after the second year, I was like, man, everybody's got to do this. And my energy was like, no, Michael, not everyone came to the planet in this life to do this work. Like this is for people who came to the planet in this lifetime to do this kind of work. And again, you have to remember, we did not all come here for the same reason and or the same experiences. That's why you can't look at other people and say, hey, you need to be this way, you need to be doing this work. Like, no, I'm telling you, especially when it comes to this work, this is in-depth work. Trust me, not everyone was meant to do this in this lifetime. So because of that and understanding that by going through all these different healings and levels of it, I look at people now and like, hey, they're not here for this. They're here to be doing what they're doing. So leave them alone. Leave them in their space. They're where they're supposed to be. The one thing I do know is you do not have to continually suffer endlessly forever. So I've healed people of all kinds of emotional ailments, physical ailments, spinal injuries, cancer, and I've got 2 examples of people where their doctors said, hey, there's nothing else we can do. Like they've worked with them for a year and a half, 2 years, or however long it was, and their doctor says, hey, there's nothing else we can do. Just say goodbye to your family, friends, throw a goodbye party. So I'm going to use that as an example. So I had this young lady, and she was dying. And she's on my Facebook page now, by the way. And when I say dying, I mean she was really, really skinny. So she's about, I'm guessing, around 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". So she's not the most petite girl. And she was showing pictures of how she was wasting away, and her parents had to carry her to the bathroom to shower her, to clean her, etc. And the post that caught me was, she said, I feel ashamed because I feel like I'm supposed to be taking care of my parents when they're in their old age, not the other way around. Oh, and by the way, here she is. I made a video years ago about this, and I believe I posted some of the pictures where she was unbelievably skinny. Like, it was really sad. And her doctors had finally told her, hey, there's nothing else we can do. Nothing's working. And so for a little while there, about a year or so, that kind of became my specialty. Like, those were the people that I would work with. So I contacted her and said, hey, I do energy healing, blah, 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 blah. I'll do it for free. Don't worry about it. Because she was in another country. And she was obviously quite poor. And so I started doing the energy healing sessions, and it was quite the journey for me. I'm going to give you, give you a visual of what it's like. It's like I was going into her world, into her spirit world, and seeing what was going on. Now, with every person, it's always different. It's right, like, whoa, what is this? Like, you'll see things that you're like, what the hell is this? You know how you just get random thoughts, or you might hear a phrase or a song, short piece of the tune of a song, or you kind of get a quick glimpse of an image? That's essentially what it is. The only difference is when you clear your mind and your head and you silence yourself inside, you notice those things more. That's all it is. So something came up, and it was like it was like going all the way back to the caveman era. And she was standing just outside of her cave, and inside it was really mucky. It was just nasty. The energy was just like horrible, mucky, dark, sticky, etc. And I kind of investigated, and I cleaned it. Okay, I cleaned it all out. I did the energy healing. I did all this stuff. And she started to feel better, and you could tell she was feeling a little bit better, but it really wasn't quite doing much. And then she kind of went back down. I'm like, what's going on here? So I went back in, I cleaned it all out, and then something stood out. Like, even though you've cleaned out the bad energy that's causing the cancer, it's like there's no airflow, there's no light inside here. And I was like, oh. So, and again, it's all visualization. So I went all the way inside, and then I went up. It's kind of like, a chimney, or, the way air flows through houses. And so I made this hole that went up, and so some light could come in and the air could flow through. And then I cleaned it out and set light, love, and healing energy in there. And then I worked on her body as well. There's quite a bit of work that I did with her. But that's when she started to get better. Like, she started to get color in her skin. And that was the first sign, like, okay, she's doing better. You could see the color. It was nice. It was fresh. So she had a couple more difficulties. And it wasn't very many sessions. I think it was about 4 or 5, maybe 6 sessions. And she started walking again. She started gaining weight. That was like the real sign. She started gaining weight again. Oh, if I didn't mention it, this is actually her with her child. So we are about a few years out now, about 3 years, I think. And so she's gained her weight back. She's got chubby cheeks. She's got a cute little baby. And just look at it, just the sign of vibrancy and health. Now, in her case, that was all she needed. She hasn't had to do any other emotional healing or whatever it is. Now, the reason why I say that is because she had a very specific thing, and she needed to be healed of this one specific thing. Some people, myself being one of them, is like, I came to heal and heal and heal and heal. I remember one time I was crying to my energy, like, I don't want to do this anymore. It was exhausting, the emotions, and I'm like, why do I have so much to heal? She goes, Michael, you came into this lifetime to heal as much as possible. So that was my journey. It was tough. And one of the biggest reasons of why I can help people heal so much is because I have healed so much. it's like instead of my energy being all scattered in all these different fragmentations and parts and charges, everything has come back inside. Maybe not everything. I don't think you could live on this plane of existence if you were completely 100% one, whole and complete. So, but because I'm so much more core now, my energy is just this vibrating, healing energy. So even when I'm around people, even if I'm at a coffee shop and I'm never even looked at them, they never saw me, the healing process will begin in that person. It's also a big reason why when people come around me, they suddenly just start smiling and they're happy. They don't even know why. It's just the energy. Call it higher vibrational energy. It loosens them up, it opens them up and allows the energy to flow through them, and it just feels good. And the one thing I just want you to know is you can heal. This whole thing makes life a very, very interesting journey. And for men, when you take my course, Crack the Female Code, the energy is helping your energy to shift open and to expand. So there is a consistent, constant conditioning effect that happens during the course. It simply helps you to open up, expand, let go, and be happy. It just feels good. Alright guys, that's enough for this video. God bless you guys. If you liked the video, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you like, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.